Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. Today we'll be going over how to make the Coffee Time placemat. This is a pre-printed panel, and as you can see from Coffee Time, we went to town with this collection. We loved it so much that we just kept going. So let me show you what's on set with me today, and then we'll jump right into the project. We'll be making the 4 placemats. This is a panel that you'll be getting. 4 panels, and there's some instructions, but I will be your instructor today. You don't need to worry about those instructions, but just know that is on the bottom of the panel for you to refer to. Of course, 4 placemats. We couldn't stop there. We did the folded star hot pad, which is right here in 2 colorways, the red and the black. We have the pinwheel stripe table runner. Previous video, we've done a lot of fun. Gave you a couple techniques of how to do the pinwheels. You can choose your favorite technique. We couldn't stop there and made some hanging towels, 3 different colors on that. Super fun for the kitchen and great for gift giving for somebody who maybe has a new home. And we also have the reversible napkins, so we have the whole look. But of course, we want to have a really adorable table, maybe a breakfast table, whatever time of the day. Coffee is always in style, no matter what time of the day it is. I see lines outside Starbucks and Dutch Brothers and everywhere around my town, day and night. So it appears that coffee is not just a morning thing anymore. So in your panel, as I mentioned, you have 4. Now that's for the top of the project. You'll need a different fabric for the backing. We have kits available. The first part of the instructions that are included on here, they give you a couple options. You can either do the small placemats, which is what you're seeing here with me, or you can do a large placemat where you would be using this and adding more fabric from the Coffee Time collection to make it even bigger. You'd basically be adding some strips to kind of just build out the size. So our kit is for the small version. It's the simplest version. So if you're fairly new to sewing or you want a simple and quick project, this is the one for you. So we'll be following the instructions for the small placemat. The first thing is just wash and iron your panel, of course. And we'll cut all pieces 1/4 inch outside the line. So let's just jump into what we're talking about here. Now I've already started cutting my panel because you've got one right here. You can see that with me. So I'll just show you the other part of the panel that I've got working. I have one that I had already cut out before as well. So I've still got 2 left. So what are they talking about cutting 1/4 inch away? They're just saying the frame of your placemat, you'll just lay your ruler down. We have this beautiful dashed line. I think you can see it from the overhead camera. That's our 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's just such a nice visual indication that if I lay that dashed line right along the bottom of my drawn line, I know I'm at that 1/4 inch they want me to be at. And this is what's called fussy cutting, where you are specifically getting a part of the fabric where you want it to be. Again, I'll lay down that nice 1/4 inch dash line and make my cut. And you will continue this way all around your shape until you have it all done on all 4 sides. And I've done that one ahead for you, so we can jump right into the project. I've also cut away a little piece of the instructions so that I don't have that big piece of fabric on camera with me. So let's just have that for me to refer to. Next thing it says is use the cut panel as a pattern to cut out your backing fabric and your batting. So the anatomy of our little placemat here is we have the fabric we cut out 1/4 inch. We have a batting or fusible fleece. This happens to be a fusible fleece. And I have a backing fabric. And they're basically saying cut those to the same size. Now, I love to cut things stacked so that everything's the same size. Now I happen to have a fusible fleece here. You might even have a fusible batting. And just so that I'm now dealing with this as kind of one unit, I'm going to iron that together. It just makes it easier to now have one unit. Now if you're using maybe a warm and natural batting, a different type of batting that doesn't have a fusible characteristic, that's fine. It seems like batting kind of already has a natural kind of tackiness to it, where it just naturally kind of doesn't exactly shift. So this is just my preference. I'm using with a fusible fleece today. I think we have fusible fleece on the website. So if you like that product, be sure to grab some. It's great for any type of kind of craft project like this. So they're saying basically this is our footprint, right? Well, they're also telling me in my next step, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. Use the cut panel here as the pattern to cut out your backing fabric and batting for each mat. Layer the backing right side up, and placemat right side down. Here's what I'm gonna do. So that I'm already ready to go, I'm going to sequence my layers like this right now, so that after I'm done trimming, I go straight to the sewing machine. There's a logic to that for me, so that I'm not cutting in one orientation and then rearranging. It just helps me be ready to go, and now I'll know everything is perfectly stacked. So I'm going to lay that piece on there and lay my ruler down where I know I already trimmed, and now we will be trimming our batting and our backing to the exact size as the front. These types of steps just lead to a little more precision overall in the finished project. So that's when I was first quilting, I was so excited that say, read through all the instructions. I'm like, I'm gonna jump right in here. And I was literally just going step by step. And I realized the value of sometimes reading through the entire instructions, because then it gives you an idea of maybe how you could sequence things to be just like this. If I didn't read ahead, I wouldn't know that, hey, maybe this is a time-saving step. It's more accurate this way. So it is worth truly reading through all the instructions of any project before you just dive in. All right, we've got that cut. We've already matched all the raw edges and secure with pins. Okay, let's do that. And we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch around the placemat, leaving approximately a 7-inch opening. And I'm just going to leave the opening on, obviously somewhere in here. You never want to leave an opening on a corner. Don't ever do that. It's always going to be well inside of the corner. Corners are hard enough to deal with as they are. You don't want to open seam down there, so we'll make it somewhere else. Pinning. If you're new to pinning, pin on this side, because then I can keep my pin in. I used to, in the very beginning, pin out here. That was how I just was taught. But as I was approaching that, I'd always have to remove my pin and remove my pin. So that's one way. You can also use Wonder Clips. Wonder Clips are nice, but again, you'll have to be removing them. I'm just going to put a couple pins in here. There's nothing incredible that you're going to see me do on the sewing machine. It's just a standard 1/4 inch seam allowance. I do want to encourage you that when you get to that corner, that very specific corner, you want to stop, needle down, and pivot, and you're going to be sewing right along basically that frame of that. You want to nail that. So that's almost more of your visual cue, is to be looking for that frame of your placemat versus like concentrating on the 1/4 inch. You know you're going to get the 1/4 inch because you cut it that way. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me put a couple more pins in. Let's go to the sewing machine. Wherever it is that I begin, I'm going to definitely reinforce that, because as I come back around, I'm going to stop. Now, if you want to mark, I don't think I have I do have just a little marker here. I'm just going to put a little mark here to remind myself just to stop. And these are erasable with heat, and that's about 7 inches. Sometimes I forget and I just close the whole seam and I'm like, wow, that was such a, that was silly. So having just a little visual marker, it's like, hey, stop there. All right, let's go take it to the sewing machine. We're going to have a placemat to show you here in moments. All right. Okay, we have our placemat coming together fast. So let's now, anytime you want to get those corners nice and crisp, usually you're trimming them. I imagine this tells us, yep, trim corners and turn right out. And what they're just saying is right here in this corner, you're just making a little bit of a trim. Don't get too close. You're going to cut your threads, of course. But go ahead and do that. And now we'll turn it through. Super cute. If you've got a coffee lover in your life, perfect gift. So trying to get corners out can be tricky. There's a lot of bulk in there with the fusible fleece or batting. And you want to get that to be nice and square. And this is where I like to use the point turner. I use this for so many things. Pointy end here, or maybe you're doing something that's circular and you're trying to push that seam out. So you've got the nice curve here as well as the point. Obviously we're using the point today, and it's going to get those corners out that I could never achieve. Before I found this tool, an early quilt, I used bamboo skewers. I poke them all the way through. I've used, the shish kebab skewers. I've used toothpicks. It's silly. I've done a lot of things, and then when I saw this tool, and it's so affordable, just get one. I find I'm grabbing for it all the time, anytime I want to get those corners out all the way. And we've done lots of projects with them that, well, anything with the corners, right? You're going to use it. Okay, you get the idea. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy coffee, and that's pretty close. That's pretty good. I like that. Really cute. All right, let's get our iron going. So we want to give a good press, and we know we have this open seam up here. So let's just start off giving everything a nice, good press. Don't be afraid to use steam. Hey, and if you want to quilt your project, that'll come a little bit later, you'll be able to do that too. Not required, but hey, you might want to just have fun and add some quilting stitches. All right, this whole little bit at the top, you're just going to tuck that under it, and you've got a nice visual line right there. Because we trimmed it 1/4 of an inch, you'll just kind of peel that back. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to press that. Again, it's a little bit of a fussy thing, not a big deal. Press that down 1/4 of an inch. I know my hand's kind of in the way there. Let me try to move this over here. That's the beauty of the portable iron, is I can be anywhere on this table and I don't have to worry about, I can take it with me, and I will. So let's flip this over. And we're trying to just match that. That's about 1/4 of an inch. If you're a quilter, you definitely know that 1/4 inch measurement, because that's what quilters use all the time. Let me trim those threads away. We don't need any of that extra thread in there. We don't want that in there. I pieced today with a 50 weight confetti. We have a neutral set, white, gray, black. For piecing, I don't really think you need anything else, to be honest with you. There's a beautiful array of colors, but those kind of come in when you're doing top stitching. So out here, where you're going to be seeing the stitching, you might want to choose a beautiful red, maybe a gray, maybe a black. I probably wouldn't choose a white, because it's going to kind of jump out at me and be very obvious if I'm not, if I have any wavering to my line whatsoever. So I would absolutely change my thread out at this point to another color. All right, I'm just trying to stack this all together. So that I have a nice even line. It goes from left to right, and it's exactly the same height. Once you believe you have that, you can go ahead and either wonder clip that. You can add some pins here. Wonder clips are, well, they're wonderful. And they just would clip across. See how right now, I don't think that's straight, all right? Take the time, if it's not straight, to go under just a little bit more and tuck under just a little bit more so that everything is completely straight. And once you have that, go ahead and pin and pin. Change out that thread to be something that looks nice, and you will sew. And let me just start sewing, and I'm just going to sew, about 1/8 of an inch. I'll start sewing with this thread so you see it, but I would absolutely not be doing this with the white. I would change out to the black, but I want you to be able to see it. You're just going to start, and I'm less than 1/4 of an inch, just trying to maintain the same distance from the edge. This is finishing the project and closing up here, okay? And you're just going to continue on. I won't continue because I'm going to end up seam ripping that out because I don't like the white in there. But you get the idea of how to finish that. And you'll go all the way around all 4 sides. And then if you want to quilt it, go for it. Have a good time. Not needed, but hey, it'd be a lot of fun to be able to quilt those. So hey, if you've never tried a simple project, cute little placemats, this may be the perfect project for you. Or maybe you have a friend that's like, nope, I don't want to do any quilting. Maybe this is a project they would be willing to try because really it's not quilting, it's crafting, but she just happened to be using fabric. So let me hear from you. I always love to hear your comments. And thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you aren't already a subscriber, and I will have many more videos coming up very soon. I'll see you then.